All right, all right. Well, it is Tuesday night. It is Tuesday night. Man, these days fly by, fly by. And I want to welcome you to the online marketing system. My name is June Collier. I understand that a few of you were on the call last Tuesday, and I actually sent out emails and put it on the group that I was not going to be doing the call last Tuesday. If you ever get on the call and it's 9 o'clock and I'm not here, go check the Facebook group to see if we are having a meeting that night. I've been busy, very, very busy. Really didn't want to do the call tonight because I am under the deadline to get this credit repair product out and to the field very, very shortly. So I've been working long hours the last several weeks working on this thing. We had an opportunity to showcase some of this credit repair product that we're going to be launching this past weekend at the Infinity Celebration for Mr. Cedric GMT Williams. So I'm sure many of you probably saw the videos, saw a lot of the information. We're excited about the product coming out here very shortly, but we are definitely under the gun to get these last minute things done. So tonight what I wanted to do is I wanted to circle back on a topic that I talked about many, many, many moons ago, and it's called sell the concept, not the company. I see a lot of people out there always selling the company. They're selling the company, the company, the company, the company. And what I really want to teach you tonight is I want to teach you about becoming an expert in this business and learning how to tell the story. And so the question that I have for you and the question that you should have is, how do I get people to look at my business? Have you ever asked yourself this question? How do I get people to take a look at my business? And I'm going to tell you, I got a friend of mine, and I have not called him back. This is a friend that I grew up with in high school, and I never approached him about my econ. And this past Friday, I believe it was Friday, he sent me a text message and said, hey, man, I need to talk to you about my personal finances. I want to talk to you about, some investing that I'm doing. And I've been watching you with this my econ thing, and I want to talk to you about that as well. And so this is somebody that, I've been doing my econ. He and I have met several times in the past. I've never really talked to him about my econ, but now he's asking. He is now asking me about my econ. And so I want to talk about how that happens. How do you get people asking you about the business instead of you going out asking them about the business? And there's nothing wrong with you going out and approaching people about the business, but it's always great when people are coming to you and asking you about what it is that you got going on and what you're doing so great. So we're going to talk about that tonight. How do I get people to look at my business? So the first thing I want to talk about is one of the biggest mistakes that people make, especially when they're marketing online. One of the biggest things that they do is they talk too much about the company. They talk too much about the company and not enough about the concepts. And my econ has some great concepts. We got income shifting. We got debt elimination. We got asset accumulation. We got cash, asset, cash. Those should be the terms that you're talking about the most, because those are the things that are going to interest people. Sometimes we have people talking too much about product. Now, with product, sometimes you got to talk about product. You got to talk about the benefits of, the vitamins and I'm learning not to call it vitamins after this past weekend. I learned from Miss Angela Williams not to call it vitamins. But you've got to sometimes talk about the product, okay? A lot of people don't create enough curiosity. Like for me, I create curiosity. I always create curiosity. And I want to tell you something that I did that it made me chuckle because it happened this Sunday. For those of you who don't know, my full name is Otis Collier. And I had an Otis Collier Facebook profile, and for the longest, that was my name. I went by Otis Collier. And long story short, I decided to use my nickname. And my nickname is June. That's what my mama calls me. That's what all my cousins call me. That's, June, from Edgefield, South Carolina. And so I started doing a transition a few years back. Probably about 5 years ago, I started transitioning from Otis to June. And I wanted to create a new personality. I wanted to create a new person. I needed to get away from some of the negative people that were around me. I needed to separate myself from some of that stuff. And so I created a whole new persona, and it was June Collier. And I got to tell you that over the last 5 years, June Collier's brand has grown so strong that I don't even identify with Otis Collier anymore, which is crazy to me because I was Otis Collier for 40 some odd years. For 41 years, I went by Otis Collier. A lot of my friends know me as Otis Collier. And then all of a sudden, I changed into June Collier. And it was funny because this past Sunday, my pastor was like, "Hey, how pastors shake hands at the end of service." And he came up to me and he started grinning and he said, "Hey, June," and I knew that he had obviously seen me on Facebook or, the social media, how it connects you with people, even though you try to stay disconnected. And, he was saying that he was puzzled at, what was going on. And, I just smiled and said, well, that's just what my mom calls me. But again, I wanted to stay away from people that would be negative. And not that I think my pastor is negative, but he has stated in the pulpit, to stay away from network marketing. And so, in respect, I just wanted to just keep my distance while I built this business. And now I'm actually coming out because I'm being successful. I'm having success. And so now I don't worry about what people say because I'm experiencing it right now. I'm experiencing the real truth. And because of that and because of my confidence and my unshaking wavering, a lot of people are starting to come up to me and saying, "Hey, man, what are you doing? What's going on? I see some changes that are happening in your life." And so we want to create that sense of curiosity. A lot of times people give it all away before capturing the lead, and so I don't want you to give it away. I want you to just give people bits and pieces of things, and we'll talk about that. Don't be a copycat. That's something else that's very important. I realize that a lot of times what people do is they see somebody that's successful, and then they try to copy that person. They try to become that person. And what you have to be is you got to be original. You got to be authentic, right? And this weekend I was joking around with Sid because I came up on stage because I was doing a presentation at his event, and I came up wearing some shades because, he wears shades all the time, and I was joking about that. But I quickly took my shades off and continued to do what I do. The younger people, they don't do the suits, but I do. So I don't have anything against you if you don't wear a suit, but that's just who I am. I'm being authentic and I'm being real to me. And so it's important for you to have some originality. It's important for you not to always copy others. Take the best of what they have, use it, make it your own, and be original, okay? So seek to be original online. Got a few questions that are coming in, the comments coming in. Good evening, viewer number 28. Good evening. All right, let's talk about some of the things that you're going to have to learn to do in this business and get people coming to you instead of you always running them down. The first tip that you want to learn is you want to learn how to solve problems. I want y'all to write this down because tonight is not a night where I'm going to just be hitting a whole bunch of websites. Tonight is a thought process. Because you got to get your mind right before you can start getting your marketing right. And so one of the things that you got to do is you got to learn to be a problem solver. If you can learn to become a problem solver, you'll become wealthy if you learn how to solve problems. So let's take a look at some of the things that we might want to solve problems for. And so, we're in the financial business. So the question that you should be asking yourself is, what type of financial problems do people have? And so I'll tell you right off the bat, A lot of people don't make enough money. They just don't make enough money. And so, the whole income shifting is so key and critical. Hey, man, I was able to increase my income by $200, $300 a month. You really need to take a look at this. Here, call this sizzle number. Tell me what you think. You know, some people are living in debt and they're living paycheck to paycheck. Man, we got so many testimonies of people who have paid off credit card debts and paid off student loans and paid off all of this debt. See, you got to figure out what the problem that people are having and then provide some solutions and some answers to that. They got bill collectors calling and hounding them 24/7. This weekend with this new credit repair, I was teaching people how to keep creditors from calling you. If they're calling you, you can ask that they not call you back and just any communication be done through mail. And then there's a letter that you have to send them that makes it official. And so there's some things that you can do around that. And so a lot of people don't even realize that. They take these calls on their jobs. You don't have to take credit collection calls on your job. So there's different things that you can actually do to protect yourself. There's a lot of people that don't know that, and because they don't know that and you do, you're now becoming very valuable to them. Let's talk about some other things. There's people out there who can't finance anything on credit. Why? Because their credit score is just bad. There's people out there who don't know how to save or invest. One of my biggest calls that I have had on Sunday, on one of my Sunday night calls, was the week that I talked about investing, and I talked about the stock market. And you often see me talk about investing in the stock market on my Facebook profile. Very seldom do you see me talk about my econ on my Facebook profile. I talk about stocks, I talk about investing, I talk about getting out of debt, but I'm still talking about my econ, but I'm not just talking directly about my econ. Some people pay too much in taxes. Others owe the IRS. There's a lot of people out there that actually owe the IRS. Let me tell you who those people are. Those are usually people who don't get a W-2. Those are usually contractors who get all their money on the front end. They're 1099 self-employed contractors. And usually they don't put away any money for taxes, and at the end of the year, they have this huge tax bill. Can we help them? Absolutely. Absolutely we can. What about people who are being sued by creditors or people who can't get a checking account? See, these are all types of financial problems that people have. Now, the question that you might be asking is, well, June, that's great, but what does that have to do with my econ? What does any of these financial problems have to do with my econ? Well, here's what it has to do with my econ. If you understand the problems, then you can go out and find the solution and provide what we call immense value. So you want to provide immense value, right? So let's take a look at that. People want you to help them, not prey on them. They want you to help them, not prey on them. See, so many times we are constantly thinking about us, me. I need to get the builder bonus. I need to get 7 people. I need to get this for me. But I got to tell you something. As soon as you stop thinking about me and start thinking about how you can help other people achieve their financial goals and achieve all of their dreams and desires, then you will start having success and you will start achieving your dreams, your financial goals. So what are some of the things that you can do? You can provide free seminars for your church and other organizations. So I'm gonna tell you guys something. Before I got into my econ, this was probably 10, 12 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago. I was doing free seminars on personal finances. I would talk about the pay here, the buy here, pay here car lots. I would talk about the payday loans. I would talk about the rent to own furniture places. I would talk about the rule of 72. I was talking about all of these different personal financial situations that people found themselves in. And I got to tell you, there was not a lack of organizations and churches that wanted me to come and talk to them. All you got to do is just put the content together, put the material together, and go out and start talking to folks. Pretty soon we'll have this credit education tool, and so you'll be able to go out and talk to people about fixing their credit. Find free resources that will give you literature. Now, here's what I mean by that. This weekend, when we had SAYS event, I've been working on this credit repair product for about 2, maybe 3 months now. And I didn't just want just some secondhand information. I wanted it direct. And so I contacted the government, and the government sent me like manuals. I mean, just manuals and manuals of stuff. I've got the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and it has all of the laws in it regarding what you can and cannot do, a collector can and cannot do when trying to collect debt. I've got the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which has all the law statutes in it about your rights for credit repair and your rights for getting things removed from your credit report. And so these are just things that you can get out there for free. These things are out there for free. And I mean, they sent me a box full of stuff. They probably sent me 300 pamphlets of different sorts of things for free. And so I got to the event and I just started handing it out. And people were going nuts over it. It was crazy. So what you got to do is you got to show that you are a valuable person. And sometimes the value isn't even coming from you. It's just because you know somebody else or you're connected to something that will provide you with value. So let me kind of give you some examples of what I mean by that. I'm going to pop out of this presentation here just for a moment, and I'm going to go over here to Google, and I'm going to just type in Federal Reserve, right? I'm going to type in Federal Reserve. And you got, well, it said Federal Reserve Bank, but you got all of this stuff here, right? And so one of the things that, this is Mr. Al Parker. I actually learned this from Mr. Al Parker, by the way. But one of the things I learned was the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. Let's take a look at this one. And I want to just kind of show you some of the information that's available for free, that is this widely available for free out there. And one of the things that I did is I went over here to education and, for educators. So I consider myself an educator. So I'm going to click on educator here. And what you're going to see is there's a lot of different resources that are available on this website. Now, I can look for resources based on age or grade level, those types of things. They got resources for entrepreneurs. They got the Money Circle 2.0, help high students become better at understanding how money works and how to best manage it. And they got curriculums that are already developed. How about banker resources? Okay, consumer resources. Are you a consumer and want to learn more about finance for yourself and your family? Click the link below to access resources available to you. So I'm going to click on that, right? And so this is just great stuff. Putting your paycheck to work. Now, this was a document that I first saw. Mr. Al Parker actually turned me on to this one. Putting your paycheck to work. Right? Now, we always talk about the paycheck. We always are talking about the paycheck. I'm going to click on this one so that you guys can just kind of see what's going on. So the grade levels here is from 9 to adult, and it says that these activities correlate with putting your paycheck to work. Fact sheets 1 and 4, in activity 1, students take a pre-test to discover their knowledge of the paycheck pay stub and discuss how to interpret a sample pay stub. In activity 4, students learn about the different methods of receiving wages, including check, direct deposit, payroll card, and participate in an interactive scenario using these payment methods. So, there's a lot of people who are adults who don't understand their paycheck. And the nice thing about this thing, it's about 30 to 60 minutes of activity. They provide you with all of the details, all of the information that's here. You could use this type of information and then go host seminars and webinars, okay? You can actually go and take this information and go out in the community and give free information away. Because see, what you want to do is you want to establish your expertise. See, you're not always going to just go out and just try to hit somebody over the head and sell. What you want to do is you first want to get their trust. You first want them to know that you're an expert when it comes to personal finances. And you don't even have to create this stuff. I'm telling you, they will mail this stuff to you for free. I got a box full of stuff the other day. I mean, it was heavy, a box full of stuff. So this is extremely important, putting your paycheck to work. So, it's a PDF. Let's open up the PDF real quick so that you can see it. Here's putting your paycheck to work. It's got fact sheets. It's just got so much information here about the paycheck, okay? And I could go on and on and on. They've got PowerPoint slides so that you can use PowerPoints. They got handouts. They got all kind of stuff that you can do. Here's the pretest. Here's the pretest. Gross pay refers to what? Whether you receive a pay by check, direct deposit, is listed on a pay stub as what? So it asks you about tax information, Social Security stuff on the pay stub. There's stuff on here that most people don't even know. Look at here. Funds for 401k retirement savings plans are taken from pre-tax wages. True or false? So see, you don't even have to create this stuff. It's already created for you. You got the pretest, and then they got a sample pay stub for you so that you could actually break it down on what a pay stub looks like, how people can figure out how much they're paying in taxes. What are the allowances? What is this? What's FICA? What's some of the stuff that they see on their paycheck stub? See, this is what you need to start looking at, but it requires that you spend some time educating yourself. All right? Let's see, I got a couple questions that's coming in. Al Parker, the Federal Reserve Bank has some stuff for free. Absolutely, we just saw that. And Mr. Parker actually put together a presentation with their stuff. In fact, I believe Mr. Parker does some of these webinars or seminars, and you can do it at a library. The library doesn't charge you any money as long as you're not selling anything. You can have a meeting at the library to educate people at the library. There's many different venues out there that you can actually use. So, yeah, and Mr. Parker says credibility. Absolutely, because, the content that you're getting is coming from the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. So these are handouts. This is the content that you're getting. So you've already established credibility here. So let's go back. I just wanted to share that with you. I'm going to close this window out, and we'll go back here. This is just one resource. I mean, there's tons of stuff here on the page here. 10 tips to get more from your paycheck. Man, that sounds good, doesn't it? 10 tips to get more from your paycheck. That almost sounds like income shifting. I got to take a look at that and see what that's all about. This is an infographic. So here's an infographic. Use an online. Wow, it's talking about what we talk about, right? And it's different. It's just a little bit slightly different. Review your W-4, okay? Explore employer benefits. Contribute to the employer sponsor retirement plan. Man, some great stuff here, okay? So this is the type of information that you really, really want to get. Is you want to utilize this stuff, and it's out there for free. It's out there for free. So I'm going to back out, come out of that. There's a lot of stuff that's out there. This website is pretty amazing. And again, I just did Federal Reserve Bank and found some information under Federal Reserve Bank. The other thing that, like I said, that you'll find is as I was doing the credit repair product that we're putting together, I went to look at the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and I said, how do I get the manual? Like, I need the manual, right? And so let me see if I put book in here. I think that's what I put in, the Fair Credit Reporting Act book. And I think I went to the Federal Trade Commission. So I can't remember actually where it is that I went. But they actually provided me with all of the manuals and the books. So that's who sent it to me. So I'm going to have to go back because I promised people that I would tell them where I got that information from, and I don't remember exactly. One of these sites was the site that actually sent me the information. So again, this is places where you can actually go and get this information, and they'll send it to you for free. All right, let's get back to our presentation here and talk a little bit more about what else we got here on this presentation here tonight. So, what else is out there? Well, I may want to recommend books and seminars to people. So when you're talking to people, you're figuring out or talking to them about, what their issues are, what's going on in their life. They got bad credit, they got this, they got that. Then you don't even have to know it all yourself, but you can help them with different books and seminars that are available that you know about. So you got to become a resource. You just got to become a resource just choked full of value. Like, people come to me all the time. As soon as I got done with that presentation on Saturday, I have gotten about 5 different calls. Cedric put the video out, somebody else put the video out, 10 different people put the video out, and then all of a sudden I'm getting people who are calling me, asking me about their credit. Right? When this credit product comes out, if you really position yourself, you're going to have a lot of people that's going to be asking you questions, and now you're going to have the education to properly talk to them about how to repair their credit. Matter of fact, I believe that some people are going to probably start a credit repair business once this product comes out, because you'll have the knowledge on what needs to happen. Be someone that they think of when they're in financial trouble. And I'm not talking about someone they think of to come borrow some money. I'm talking about someone that they think of to say, man, I need to go talk to June because, he looks like I think he knows something about investing. I think he knows something about debt. I think he knows something about credit, right? And be transparent about your own story. See, I got up and I told people, I said, listen, I had to go to court. I had a creditor that sued me. I actually had to end up going to court, and I won. I won in court. But if I didn't tell people, if I was too embarrassed to tell people that, yeah, at some point in my life, I had some credit issues too. See, that's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be embarrassed of. I lost my job. My wife lost her job. We had just got married, and neither one of us had a job. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. Things happen. But if you go out and you be transparent, you'll be amazed at how many people open up. It's like as soon as I told them that I had bad credit, I had to go to court, I won my court case, all of a sudden people start coming up to me and saying, hey, man, I got a court case next week, matter of fact. How do I do this? Right? Otherwise, they'd be embarrassed. And so you got to be transparent. Become like Dave Ramsey or Clark Howard. Now, some of you may not know who Clark Howard is. I'm going to actually go out to his website, but you don't need to know everything, just the resources of where things are. So I love Clark Howard because this guy, and I'm sure he's a millionaire, because this guy has made money off of just helping people with information. Like, this is his website. And he just does all kind of stuff. Like, Consumer Reports ranks the top 10 new cars for 2017. Need extra cash? Here's how I earned $1,500 using these 3 steps. Well, people are going to click on that. Well, how did he earn $1,500 using those steps, And so, Clark has, like, all the information. Clark is here in Atlanta. So if you're in the Atlanta area, Clark Howard. You should. pill splitting, how I save 75% on prescription drugs. That's Clark Howard. Like, he's that guy that you just go to because it's like, dude, what you know? What's good? Like, Clark can tell you how to get a hamburger free every day. You know, he'll tell you how to get a meal every day for free. He's just that kind of guy. And he's attractive. People love that because he's constantly providing immense value. He started providing so much value that he created his own website. And now the guy is on TV, he's on the news, he's always somewhere providing advice and showing you how to do things, okay? So that's what you got to start doing. Got to start doing that, okay? All right, let's take a look at some other things here. So we got Clark Howard there. I'm going to get that out of the way. We're going to go back to the presentation here. So you want to be the type of person that helps people. You don't want to prey on them. You want to actually help them, okay? So let's take a look at this presentation here. All right. Now, in order for you to help people, here's what you got to know. You got to educate yourself. And this is where most people drop the ball. See, most people don't want to spend time educating themselves. Most people don't want to spend time poring over websites and books and resources and all the stuff that I poured over for the last 2-3 months. But because I poured over that, I now know so much about credit repair that is ridiculous. I've become an expert in that area, and I won't call myself an expert, but I've become extremely knowledgeable in that area because I took the time and focus and dedication to educate myself on that subject. So now I can have a conversation with practically anybody on the subject of credit and credit scores and credit repair because I educated myself. Now, there are going to be some people that's going to wait around and say, well, I'll just wait till June finishes it and gives it to me. And that's fine. I think our course will have a lot of valuable information in it, and you will learn a lot because I'm going to give you what I learned. But understand this, the student will never know more than the teacher. Write that one down. The student will never know more than the teacher. The student has to become the teacher. The student has to become the researcher. The student has to be the one that's digging and digging and digging and digging. The student, when he has a question, should be digging for the answer instead of just looking for an easy way to go to the teacher to ask a question. And so many people do that in my econ. They got a question. Instead of them going into the back office and looking it up, they want to send me a text or they want to call me. Well, how did I get to know the answer? Because I studied and I became an expert and I educated thyself. So I want to tell you to educate thyself. And I know you're probably sitting on this call tonight and you're like, okay, what does this have to do with online marketing? It has everything to do with online marketing. Because before you write the first stitch of content, before you put out the first post, you got to put out good quality information. Quality information. Instead of all that garbage that's going on out there. There's a lot of garbage that's going on out there. You got to put out quality information. Educate thyself. So you can't help someone until you helped yourself first. So you must have a thirst for knowledge. And I can say that I have a thirst for knowledge. That's just me, man. When I get into something, I dig in and I turn it over and I turn it over and I turn it over until I feel comfortable that I know a good deal about the content. Don't be afraid to pay for knowledge. Don't be afraid to pay for knowledge. See, you got to buy books. You got to buy tapes. You might even have to attend some conferences. You might have to get on a plane and fly to California to attend a conference. Don't be afraid to do that. In all thy ways, get knowledge. Proverbs says that it costs you everything, but get it. In all thy ways, get knowledge. Even though it costs you everything, get it. And so you have to have that mental mentality of, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to learn. I'm going to educate myself as much as I possibly can so that I can be a great resource for others who will be interested in me. You want to find mentors. Now, here's a mentor doesn't even have to be somebody that knows you. You can find a mentor in a book. You can find a mentor in a program. I'm sure some people consider me their mentor and they've never met me. So you can find a mentor, and that mentor is going to educate you and is going to share with you the knowledge that they have. Do personal development on a daily basis and figure out what areas of expertise you desire to have. You can't be an expert in everything, but in 3 months, I became pretty good at credit repair. There's not a whole lot that you can kind of tell me now at this point that I don't know, because I've looked at every video, I read every article, I didn't order every book, but I ordered a whole bunch of books, and I got the knowledge to the point where they were starting to say the same thing over and over and over again. That's when you know you've pretty much covered it, because there ain't nothing that you're reading that's new. That's what you got to do. Okay? And then the last thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to talk about online marketing, is you've got to master the art of storytelling. You got to master being a great storyteller. Let me tell you why you got to master storytelling. Stop selling and start telling. Because people are attracted to storytellers. Now I want you to go back and think about when you were a kid. When your mom or dad or somebody, your teacher, told a story. All the kids gathered around and they wanted to hear this story. They love stories. All kids love stories. Adults love stories. Sometimes with adults, the stories have turned into gossip, but they love it. They love it. As an adult, that story has turned into gossip, but you still love it. Now, let me say these two things. People are attracted to storytellers. Anybody that can tell a good story, they're attracted to. But here's the other thing. People hate salespeople. People hate to be sold. They can't stand to be sold. But I see a lot of people out there selling. But people haven't mastered the art of telling a good story, right? Now, let me give you some tasks to do. Write one great article a week. It doesn't have to be writing something every day. Write one great article per week. Post one great video per week. Don't look for the quick sale. What you want to do is you want to become magnetic. You want to have that magnetic attraction, right? So when you start talking, people start listening. Their ears start perking up. And you want to be known for something. Be known for something, right? Be known for something. The final thing that I'm going to say, and before I go there, let me bump out of this real quick before I go to the GoPro. I want to share this with you because this is so important. You know, we talk about this is online marketing, and so, you know, you're crazy if you're not using Facebook because Facebook just dominates. But the way that you use Facebook is so important. And so one of the things I want to share with you, I've talked about these in the past. I've talked about notes in the past. The interesting thing is that as much as I talk about these things on Tuesday nights, as much as I talk every Tuesday, I very seldomly see anybody doing what I teach on Tuesdays. That's sad. That's sad. I very seldomly see people take action. It's not that you don't have the knowledge. It's just you don't take action. So here's what I want to show you. I actually have done some storytelling. So see, here's one of my stories. I finally sold Tesla. And that story was simply about me selling my stock. And that was a personal story. It was my story. I told a great story. I even showed screenshots of my Tesla stock, right? Being very transparent. Now, I'm using this in social media, right? Now, I've got this stock here. Now, take a look at all these comments down here. A lot of people commenting, okay? A lot of people liking, okay? A lot of people that's liking what I'm talking about. And so I just talked about me. I talked about my story, investing. Why? Because I want people to know that I'm an investor. Now, I came over here, I got up one day, and I was thinking about the money that was in my ashtray in my car. So I took a snapshot of the ashtray in my car, okay? And I did a personal story. This is my ashtray in my car, and I did a personal story. And I talked about the growth of money, and I created an article, right? And when I created this article, down here at the bottom, I said, best regards, June Collier. That takes them back to my page if they want to see more. And then I got a link here to my econ page, right? So I'm telling the story, but I'm marketing myself throughout the story. I'm not saying, hey, come join my econ. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, hey, listen, you should take the pocket change in your pocket and start investing that money. And I got a financial calculator that I use from my econ. Boom, there's a link right there. So anybody that doesn't know what my econ is, they're going to click on that. But it doesn't look like I'm selling them anything. I'm just telling my story, and I'm weaving my econ link throughout my story. So I say a penny at 8% over 20 years grows to 5 cents, a nickel to 25 cents, a dime to 50 cents, a quarter to $1.25. All I did was tell my story. And then when I got down to the bottom, I signed off with my name, my title, my phone number, a link back to my econ, and my scissor call number. So anybody that came across this story was like, man, that was a good story. Man, I never thought about it that way. Let me check out, what's this my econ thing? Or what's this video, or what's this phone number on how to get $200 to $500 back in your paycheck? Right? And so that was me telling my story. That's not my only story. I got plenty of them. Let's go back and take a look. Pocket change. Here's another one, Snapchat. That was the rave. Everybody was talking about Snapchat. So what did I do? Snapchat goes public. Why I didn't buy it. And I talk about Snapchat. Again, I do a picture of Snapchat. Why? Because I want people to know that they can come to me if they're interested in learning about investing. If they want to know about investing, let me call this guy because he seems to be pretty knowledgeable. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not talking about my econ. I'm just talking about Snapchat. I ain't saying nothing about my econ, but I give a lot of great information. And then at the bottom, boom, there we go. And I didn't even link to my econ on this one. I should have. I don't know why I didn't. But there's my information. There's my phone number. Right? Let me go back and take a look at one more. We'll take a look at one more. I did something called the endowment effect. Do you understand high-class investment jokes? I used the Shark Tank. I got a video on that one. Wealth is created from nothing. Do network marketers need a business license? Can you really duplicate? IPOs, tools I use in network marketing. Train with June. I got my own photo here. When should you stop sacrificing? Here's the car that they stole from me. I mean, you know, it's just so much stuff that you can do. People want to see your story. They want to see your story. And if you can weave a good story, you can get people to join your business. So that's what tonight is all about. Is are you educating yourself, and have you found the problems that people have in their life, and can you solve those problems? Because if you can't solve those problems, you're not going to be attractive to anybody. I get calls all the time. And I'm just going to show you guys because I don't want you to think that I'm just blowing smoke. Let's go to YouTube here. And I show this quite frequently. you can see that I've been studying credit repair because you see all this credit repair videos that come up. That's because I've just been studying credit repair a lot. Let me go to my channel here. And I just want to show you something. I want to share something with you. Here's what I've learned. This is my most popular uploads. Now, I got a lot of videos that I've uploaded, but here's what I've understood. This video right here, Wealthy People Don't Use Banks, 449,000 views, and it just keeps climbing. And I get calls every day on that. Here's another one. I'm talking about emergency funds, 58,000 views. Here's another one, Simple Keys to Wealth, Where Should I Start? 23,000 views. So here's what I've learned. Out of all of my videos that I do, and I've done a lot of them, the videos that do the best is when I'm talking to the common person about how to create some wealth. Right? This video right here is crazy because I get people commenting on this video every day. And if you look down here below, the video's been out July 17, 2015. You see I got a link to go to my econ page. But I have over 945 comments. I mean, people just commenting on the video. And so I realized, again, that if I talk about money, and not in a negative way, but if I talk about money in a very intelligent way, I get people to call me. I sit here on a day-to-day basis, and right now, this is no lie, I have not answered my phone over the last couple of days because I've been working on this credit repair, trying to get this thing done. But I get calls every day. Not just off of this video. I get calls off the emergency fund video. I get calls off of all of these types of videos. Why? Because I'm providing immense value. How did I provide immense value? I first started studying and showed myself approved by studying. That's where it starts. And then I just tell stories. I either tell stories in video or I go over here to Facebook and I'll tell my story. Right? I'll just go in here. I use photos of real people. This is Miss Antoinette Davis down in Warner Robins. Her and her beautiful kids. They're on the team. They're in the My Econ family. There's Mr. Terrence Hill. So, I just tell my story. When are you going to start telling your story? That's where the power of this thing is. It's not just putting up some link to say, come join My Econ. That's not what people are joining. That's not what my friend saw. He didn't see that. Let me tell you what my friend saw. And, I post this on Facebook because people are always watching. And I'm going to close out here because I'm almost done here because I'm just kind of rambling on. How do I close this out? Why is it not closing? I don't know. Let's see. How do I close that window? There we go. So what I want to show you is that when you look at my timeline, every Sunday, I'm going to go through my timeline here just for a quick second. Very seldom do I do something like this, where like it ain't about nothing. But every now and then I do a post that ain't really about nothing. Like today, I went to lunch and I said, "There's so much to reflect on. Thank you, God. Life is good," and that's all. It wasn't really about nothing, right? But here's Jim Cramer talking about Snapchat. Here's some bad news about Snapchat. So I'm posting this stuff because this is stuff I've been talking about. Here's me at the event. Here's the 750 credit plan and credit monitoring that I talk about. Boom, I'm talking about the Sunday night call. Let's talk finance. See, if you begin to start looking at my profile, you're like, man, all of these people are always circled around June. All of these photos, June is always in some photos with somebody, right? Boom, what's going on with that guy in that gold jacket? What the heck is that? And so people are looking. Here's the video. Now people say, man, this guy is very, very knowledgeable. Do you see the difference on my profile page versus other profile pages? I'm always talking about something positive. I'm always talking about money. I'm always talking about something that people are interested in that correlates to my business. They're going to get to the point of saying, June, what is it that you do? Boom, there's the change in my car. And you see, I get all of these people, 118 people liked it. 118 people. I'm telling stories. Do you see me selling anything? Here's a video that I did on a software tool called Acorns. 99 people liked that. 22 people shared it. There's over 25 comments on that. Here I'm talking about my IRA, making $563 for the day. 165 people like that. See, we're talking about telling your story. Become a master storyteller. That's how you win. That's how you get people to say, hey, man, you're doing something. See, my homeboy from back home, he been watching me, and I know he's been watching me. He's been watching me for about 2 years now. And he finally got the guts to say something to me. Right? He finally got the guts to say something to me because he sees my consistency. Not only does he see my consistency, he sees all these other people that like my posts, that are commenting, and he's like, wait a minute. I went to school with June. Me and him went to the same hometown. Me and him from the same place. Me and him, we hung out and did some stuff together. I'd be dog if I'm going to let some strangers tap into this brother when I know this brother where he came from. So he picked up the phone and he called me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you begin to build an organization, how you begin to build a team. You got to just start giving value, finding value, studying value, and educating yourself so that every time you talk and you post about something, it's positive. I ain't trying to sell nobody on my Facebook. The last time, you won't even see me selling on my Facebook. But I got links. I got links that let you know where I'm at, but it's weaved into my stories. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, Kelly. So any questions that you might have, if you hit *6 on your phone, *6 on your phone, you will be able to ask your questions. I got a question that came in, viewer number 24. It says, June, are we able to read your story on Tesla? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. It's on my timeline. It's on my timeline. So everything is public on my timeline. Let's see. Do I have any other questions that come in? Mr. Al Parker. Yes, sir. You can use Dave Ramsey and Clark Howard articles to create credibility. That's a good point. So when you find people out there in the marketplace who have more credibility than you, especially when you're getting started, when you're starting out, what you can do is you can utilize the articles and the books and the credibility from other authors and use that to start building up your credibility. So many people think that they've always got to, that the information always has to come from them, but it doesn't. See, if you're a good resource and you know you don't have all the answers, but you know where to go get the answers, people will come to you because you know where to get the answers from. All right, Ms. Lynette says, June, where can we get all the archived teachings for online marketing? Great question. So here's where you go. You got to go to your MyEcon online marketing website. Go in your back office. Don't go here. Just go in your back office. Log in from your back office. That'll take you here to your online marketing. Your teachings is under webinar training, step 2. So that means that you haven't made it to step 2 yet if you didn't know where this was at. So click on step 2 for webinar training. Right above the video, you will see where it says click here for access. When you click there for access, it shows you where the webinar access is every Tuesday night, 9 p.m., how to log in, the phone numbers. And then if you want to record, you want to view the recorded archives, click here, and that's going to take you to a page where you'll see recorded archives. Let's take a look at January. So here for January, you'll see all of the videos and the training that was done in January, okay? So that's where you find the information. All right, So Ms. Johnson says, are there videos on how to add the hyperlinks and pictures like how you have your name and my econ highlighted? Ms. Johnson, I know that I've covered it, but I don't know which one of these videos I did it in. So for Ms. Johnson, because I don't know which video I did it in, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to do the hyperlinks and all that stuff. What you do is you'll go to your My Econ page, not your My Econ page, your Facebook page, and you're on your Facebook page, your profile. There's a drop down here that says More. You want to click on Notes. So click on Notes, and then you can click on Add a Note if you want to start a new note, or you can look at your drafts. So let's see here. I'm gonna go back and do my Tesla one. I'm gonna update this one here. So I'm just gonna click on it, and I'm gonna go up here where it says Edit Note. I'm gonna click on Edit Note, and this is gonna give me the opportunity to go in here and edit my note. Okay. So down here at the bottom, I'm gonna add my name. So just go down here. I'm gonna put in Otis Collier. So y'all got me. I was talking about Otis. So I'm going to put June Collier right there. I'm going to put my title, Executive Vice President, my econ. And then here's what I do for the hyperlink. I go over to my econ website. And I always like to send people to the opportunity video. I don't know, this is me. I like to send them to the opportunity video. So I'm going to copy this link here. We'll copy that link. And then I'm going to go back here to Facebook. And then here's how you put the hyperlink in. You just highlight the word, and you're going to see this little box that pops open. You can bold, italicize, you can do mono, and you can do link. So I'm going to click on where it says link, and then I'm just going to paste my link here, hit enter, and now it is hyperlinked. It's that easy, right? It's that easy. And then I'll put my phone number here. I always like to put my June there so that people know that I'm kind of professional. And then I'm just going to go ahead and publish the update, okay? And so now I've got the hyperlink to the My Econ opportunity, all right? And that's what it looks like. Pretty easy to do, not hard. So hopefully that answered your question, Ms. Johnson. Got a chance to see that automatically, okay? Any other questions that's out there? Any other questions that's out there before we close out for tonight? Star 6 on your phone if you want to make a comment or say anything. Star 6 on your phone to make a comment, or you can type in your question.
Hey, June.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? This is Michael Wright, EVP from Maryland.
Mr. Wright, how you doing, sir?
Blessed by the best, and definitely blessed by your training. So definitely it's going to be even on further. I missed part of the meeting, the training, so I was going to not try to repeat. But where are we at as far as the credit restoration program and platform, so that we will be able to start studying, utilizing it, and so forth?
It will be out sometime this month.
Okay.
I know the time. I know when it's going to be out this month, or when we're projecting it to be out. But I don't want to say that because
right.
It's I'm working till 1 o'clock in the morning every night trying to get this thing finished. So it will be available this month. I'll just put it that way. It'll be available this month, and as soon as we launch it, you guys will know. As soon as we launch it, there will be information behind it. There will be, we'll give you all the knowledge and all the information that you need as soon as it's launched. So it will be launched this month, though.
Okay, that'll work. All right. Thank you. Talk to you again shortly.
All right.
All right.
All right. So Miss Pam Sam has a question. She says, remember to send me where instructions on how Elite makes websites. So Miss Pam, you're gonna have to go back here and look at this stuff. Here's where I need you to go, because I'm swamped right now getting some things done. Here's what I need you to do. If you go here to webinar training, and you go here and you click for the access, and you go to the archive webinars. That's why I put them back here so that you guys can go through. And you guys are going to have to do some due diligence yourself, because I can't just go back here and be searching and all that stuff. I think it might have been January. Let's see. No, it wasn't in January. Let's look at December. So you're going to have to go through and find where it was in December. In this video, we cover how to create a personalized capture page. So that's going to show you how to create the personalized capture page. That was actually in December. And the websites were, that was earlier than December. That was probably, I don't know, that's probably back in November, October, sometime back there. But it is back here. You're just going to have to go through and look for where we did that. Okay? But this is where you would find it. It's in the archives. All right. Any other questions? I think I hear somebody on the line. Any questions on the line?
Yes, I have one question, June. This is Lynette. I have a question. I have been in the back office on the online tool, and where you have to set up for your communication alert for your cell phone and everything. And I utilize the down button for it to say on, but every time I save it, it goes back to off. And
yes, ma'am. So it works, but it doesn't look like it's working. So if you go, let me go here. I know exactly what you're talking about. We go here to this page right here, and you go down here and you put in your notification, right? And you select on,
right.
And you put in your phone number, and you click save. When you come back, it's going to say off. Okay?
Yes.
But here's how you know that it worked. And I'm just going to put an email in here. I'm just going to put an email, but you can put anything in. You can put your phone number. If you've gone through that training, you'll know that you put your phone number in there. I'm going to show you how you know it actually works. So I put this email address in here. I select it on. I click save. And then if I go back to that setting there, it's going to say off. But you're going to see that it actually has my email address right there.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what it did is, even though it says off, it locked in my email address. Okay.
Okay.
So that's just sort of I guess you would call that a bug, but it actually works. It just, you're thrown off by the off, but you should see your email address right there.
Yes, it
or
is.
your phone number. Yeah.
Okay.
So that means that it's working. It's working. So if you go to your capture page and just put in some fake information on your capture page, you should get an email text to you letting you know that somebody filled out the capture page. So you'll know that it's working.
Okay.
Good question. Good question.
Okay.
Yeah. It says off, but it actually locks it in.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions? Doesn't have to be what we talked about tonight. Any questions? I'm not going to go until you have any, till all the questions are gone. I recently changed my econ web name. How can the information on the online system update to reflect the changes? That's a good question. So and I've had one or two people do this, and we have to manually change it because the system doesn't recognize if you change your name. So most people, once they set their name, it's done. And so somebody asked me, how long before this webinar is up? Are you waiting to go somewhere? You can log off if you want to. If it's too long for you, you can log off. The webinar will go until I answer everyone's question. If you change your MyEcon web name, then you need to send me a note and let me know what your new web name is, and then we'll have it updated in the system, in your online marketing system. So unfortunately, I don't know why it doesn't populate like that. It has to be manually done. So send me your new web name and we'll get it done. And here's my email address if you need it. Pretty easy. Email it to me and we'll get that taken care of. The recording. Oh, okay. The recording. Yes. The recording, and I've been pretty bad about this, but usually I have the recording up the next day. That hasn't always been the case, but usually this recording is up the very next day. So you can expect to hear the replay tomorrow. All right. Any other questions? *6 on your phone if you have any questions, or you can type in your questions. All right. All right, so no questions are coming in. That means that all of your questions are answered. The online marketing system is here. Anything that you want me to share with you on the online marketing system, I will definitely do so, but I don't have any questions coming in, and so there's no need for me to hold you on the line if there's no questions that are coming in. So again, the credit repair product that we're putting together will be out sometime this month. And so let me give you some good news, though. Let me give you some good news since you guys are here on the call. The credit repair product is going to be $99.95. It's going to be $99.95. It's going to have $50 of CV. So here's what that means. If you sell 3 credit repairs, you will have enough CV that will cover you for the super retailer bonus for the whole year. So, you know, you need $10 of super retailer bonus in 5 weeks, and then it's like $20 in 13 weeks or something like that. Well, if you sell 3 of these, you get it, you're covered for the whole year. So that's a good thing. So it's $50. Now, I shouldn't tell you this, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you anyway. It may be subject to change again, but we also have credit monitoring. We have credit monitoring for 6 months, credit monitoring for 12 months, and then we have credit reports that you can pull. Originally, we were not going to pay any CV on credit monitoring because it was just so low, at a low price. We originally had credit monitoring for 6 months at $21.95. It is now going to be $23.95 so that you can get the $2 CV. So we're going to add CV to credit monitoring. So that's coming. So you'll have $2 of CV for credit monitoring for the 6-month credit monitoring and $3 of CV for the 12-month credit monitoring. And that was just something that just happened today. We were talking about it in the office today, and that will be something that will be rolled out. The credit monitoring will also include CV. Now, the credit monitoring is at a great price. Normally out in the marketplace, and I challenge you to go out there and look, usually credit monitoring is going to cost you on the low end $15 a month, on the high end $69 a month, just depending on what credit monitoring company you're using. We're giving you credit monitoring, and when I say the price is $23.95, that's a one-time $23.95 for 6 months, or $30. I don't know what the 30. I think it's going to be $34, $35 for 12 months. So that's a one-time hit, and it covers you for that entire year. So that's pretty amazing because even with the cheapest credit repair or credit monitoring that you find, 2 months of that will cover a whole year of what we're offering. So MyEcon is always doing big things and always pushing the envelope to make sure that we're offering the best for our associates and for our customers. And this will be a retail bonus, a retail product that you can sell. If you are my econ associate, the product is available to you absolutely free. The credit education is free. The credit monitoring, even as an associate, you'll have to pay for the credit monitoring. But the education, the training videos, all of that, if you're an associate, there is no cost to you. It costs $99 retail, but if you're an associate, it is absolutely free, no charge. All right. I have a question about changing websites names. I am interested in changing mine. Is that done in the back office? Nope, you have to call corporate. I hate saying that because we don't want a whole bunch of people calling corporate changing names, but yes, you can call corporate and corporate will change your name. Will that be for all three bureaus on the monitoring? So here's what's going to happen. When you purchase credit monitoring, you will get, I believe, one credit score free that you'll get when you buy it. Don't hold me to that because I'm not in on that side of the fence. Mr. Gates is the one that's doing that one. But the 3 credit scores are $8. 1 credit score is $4. So you do have to pay for your credit scores. It's just when you get your first credit monitoring, the scores come free. And then I think any updates or any additional credit scores that you want to pull, you can pull 3 for $8, which again is an unbelievable price, simply because if you've gone to the different credit bureaus to pull your score, you know they're $9 each at the different credit bureaus. So that's $18 compared to $8 pulling them from us. You can get credit reports free from the credit bureau. Yes. So you can get what we're talking about, Mr. Parker, is we're talking about credit monitoring and credit scores. So you cannot get credit scores for free. However, let me not say that. Let me not say that you can't get credit scores for free, because my bank offers credit scores, and maybe some of you guys who have credit cards, you got credit scores that you can get for free. So if you got those types of services out there, then yes, you could probably get your credit scores for free. But you cannot go to Equifax and get a credit score free. You can get a credit report, but you can't get a credit score. And so the training will have where to get your credit scores, the training that I will be doing, it will talk about going to annualcreditreport.com to get your free credit reports. So we teach you how to do that. But if you want your scores and you want monitoring, the credit reports just kind of come with that if you get the monitoring. All right. So let's see. Anything else? Is monitoring for all 3 credit bureaus? That's a good question. I talked with Mr. Gates earlier today, and for some reason I want to say that it's only for 1. I don't know. Okay, that's a good question. I don't know. This stuff is so brand new. When I say it's so brand new, it's a lot of stuff that's happening in a short period of time. So I don't have the answer to that question, but that's a good one. I'll have to find out. I don't know the answer to that question, if it's monitoring all 3 or just 1. I believe it's just 1, but I could be wrong. So don't hold me to that. Is that going to be a part of the Saturday training? At this point, probably not. We will probably be talking about it at the Saturday trainings. It did go very, very well with at Mr. Williams' event this past Saturday. So I would not be surprised if we did not start doing a little bit of it, but it won't take the bulk of what we do on our Super Saturdays. I will be in Dallas with Mr. Stokes on the 18th of this month. I think that's coming up, not this weekend, but I think the next weekend. And I think we're going to train on it, or I may get up and talk a little bit about it and present on it there in Dallas. So to your answer, when a new product comes out like this, we typically do reserve some time to go out and present and talk about it and answer your questions. But I don't think that it will long term be the taking over the training. We will provide the PowerPoint presentation in the back office so that you'll have access to it. If you want to hold a credit repair class, you can do that. Again, I think this is going to change, or it's going to be another income tool for people. I think some people are going to take this tool, they're going to learn how to do credit repair, they're going to fix their own credit, and then they're going to probably go and charge their friends to fix their friends' credit. And I think that's what this tool is going to probably do. We're going to provide like I said, we'll provide the PowerPoint slides. So if you want to do a seminar, you want to do a webinar, you want to do whatever it is that you want to do, you'll be able to do that and then direct people to your website so that they can purchase it. Good question. I'm on pins and needles waiting for this. Well, I tell you, it's going to be good. It's good stuff. Okay. All right. Everybody's interested in that credit repair, and then we're gonna be adding to the credit repair. So when it comes out, it's going to come out, and we're going to talk about credit repair. It's going to have income shifting in it. It'll make sense when you see it, and it's going to have the credit monitoring. What I've talked to Mr. Stokes about is I'm going to also do an additional module in there that's going to talk about collection agencies. So during my research on this credit repair, what I've discovered is I've discovered a lot about collection agencies, some of the bad practices that they do, how to fight the collection agencies, how to win in court if you get sued by collection agencies. So I'm going to probably put another module in there that's going to talk about collection agencies and how to fight that battle. I'm also going to put in another module in there that has to do with the checking system. So many people can't get bank accounts because they kind of screwed up. And so I'm going to talk about how to start working on getting yourself to a point where you can get approved for having a bank account. And there will probably be additional things that we will continue to add on to that as time goes along. So anything related to credit, anything related to collection agencies, we'll probably have a piece on there. I've seen some stuff. I'm not confident just yet. I've seen some stuff on student loans, but I haven't seen enough of research that I've done to create a module on that. But we'll probably have modules on different things that people are struggling with to help them with their finances. So that will be additional modules that will be added on to the service at a later time. Okay? There are some banks that have second chance programs for people who can't get. Absolutely. So Deborah, those are some of the things that we'll have in that. Most people don't know about the check system, and so we'll talk about the check system in that. But that will be something in the next edition of the 750 credit plan. That's what we're calling it, 750 credit plan. All right. All right. Any other questions? Star six. Man, you guys are sticking with me. Star six if you got any questions on anything. This is your time. Here we go. Lynette, speaking about collection agencies, can a collection collect after the original creditor wrote off the debt? All right. All right. So let me go into this real quick with you, Lynette. So the first thing that you want to do when a collection agency purchases the debt, the first thing you want to do is you want to have them verify the debt. What that basically means is that they have to verify that the debt is yours. So the verification of the debt is what has to happen. Now, oftentimes when a collection agency contacts you, you can send them a letter that says that you don't want to be called by the phone. All communication should be done via the mail. Okay. The second thing is that you say, I need you to verify this alleged debt. You never want to say, yes, this is my debt. Even if it is your debt, you never want to claim that it's your debt because it is on them to verify that it is your debt. Once they come back and say that they verify that it's your debt, then you want to send a letter to ask them what was the method of verification. So that's called a method of verification letter, which says, you said you verified it, but now give me proof. Who did you talk to? What department were they in? What's the phone number? That kind of thing. And there's a letter there for the verification of debt. Now, the other thing that you want to be very careful of, and this happened, I feel so sorry for this couple. On Saturday, I told them about this and about collection agencies, and they came up to me afterwards, and they said a collection agency had just called them that Friday. So I did the presentation on Saturday, and the thing that they said is that they had agreed to pay them $50. And so I said, well, how old is the debt? And they said that the debt was 5 years old. There's something called a statute of limitation. You have to know your statute of limitation in your state. The statute of limitation in the state of Georgia is 6 years. So they're knocking on the door where they won't even be liable for that debt. But if the credit collection gets you to pay just $1, then you paying that $1 resets the clock for another 6 years. So, I told them, I gave them some advice. I don't know how much that advice is going to work for them because they gave them their debit card, which is another thing that you don't do. You don't give them your debit card. You don't send them a check. If you do send money, you send it through a money order. There's a couple of things that you want to be careful of. But they got to verify the debt. They got to show the method of verification. Then they also have to show that they have the right to collect on the debt. So they got to have the right to collect on the debt. Depending on what state you're in, they also have to be licensed in that state to collect on debt. Okay? Now, if you get to the point where you're getting ready to go to court, then what you have to do is you have to understand that if somebody sues you, and that's what they're doing, they're going to sue you in small claims court. Anytime you get sued, that basically means that you've done damage to the other person. That's all a lawsuit is. No one gets sued because they didn't do anything. They get sued because they assumedly have done damage to the person. So here's how you trap that collection agency. The first thing that you have to do is you say, how much did you pay for the debt? Okay? Now, the other thing that you're going to challenge is you're going to challenge that you did harm to them. It's like you come into my house and you go out in my front yard and you take a shovel and you dig a hole and then you fall in the hole and then you want to sue me. You can't sue me because you did the damage to yourself. So when a collection agency buys a debt, they already know that this is a debt that hasn't been collected on. So you didn't do damage to them. If they went in and they knowingly bought a debt, you didn't do any damage to them. The second thing that you have to prove is how much damage did I do? So let me give you an example. If I'm driving down the street and I run into the back of a 1989 Toyota and tear off the bumper, you can only sue me for the damage for that bumper. You can't sue me for the damage of a Maserati bumper. So credit collection agencies normally buy debt pennies on the dollar. So you pay $100 for a $10,000 debt, but you're trying to collect $10,000. Well, the reason why I want to know what's the damage, how much did you pay for the debt? If you paid $100 for the debt, then technically I should only pay you for the damage that you've incurred, which is $100, not the $10,000 of the original debt. Okay? Now, here's where you trap them. Most states also have what's known as a usury law. So with a usury law, that means that you can't charge somebody 2,000% interest. Well, if you bought the debt for $100 and now you're trying to collect $10,000 on the debt, you're violating the usury law. Okay? So that's another thing that you got to put into your lawsuit. The final thing that you want to do is when you go to court, you have to have the ability of cross-examining. You want to be able to cross-examine. So they ask you questions, you have the same right to ask them questions. So in cross-examining, you have to cross-examine the person that's knowledgeable of the debt. Well, by the time you get to court, you got a lawyer. He doesn't know anything about the debt because the collection agency paid him to be there. The collection agency isn't in the courtroom. The collection agency, even if they were in the courtroom, they're not knowledgeable of the debt because the person who's knowledgeable of the debt is the original creditor who has since wrote the debt off and sold it to the collection agency. So you have no one to cross-examine. Now, they will tell you, well, we're going to do an affidavit from the original creditor that says that this is your debt. Well, the affidavit does not hold up in a small claims court. You can't use an affidavit. The original creditor actually has to be there. Now, the other thing that you can do is in violation of all of these rules, you can sue them. So you can do a countersuit. And this is what I did. I did a countersuit, and I used those points that I just mentioned. And when I got to court, the lawyer said, hey, you guys can go out in the hallway and negotiate if you want to. So the lawyer gave people time to negotiate. I went out in the hallway. The lawyer, the first thing he said, well, we know that this is your debt. And I didn't say anything because, again, if you admit to anything, you just sunk your own ship. So for me, it was the alleged debt. This is the alleged debt. And I kept saying the alleged debt. And so then he said, well, why don't we just negotiate? And I said, no, I believe I have a standing in court and I have a lawsuit on you. And so at the very last minute, he pulled out a sheet of paper and said, listen, if you're willing to drop your lawsuit, we're willing to drop ours. We'll remove this off your credit report and we'll just act as if this never happened. And that's what happened to me. So you got to be willing to show up to court, because if you don't go to court, you lose. You got to be willing to challenge. You got to be willing to go in front of the judge if you have to state these points. And so this will be something that I'll be working on. This is not part of the credit repair as it will be when it comes out, but the next edition that we add to it will be that. I will be studying that to make sure that I give you all the correct information, but I'm just kind of telling you what I went through, and it worked for me. Let's see. Lynette says, is it wise to remove the credit cards that have been paid and closed to be removed off my credit report? All right. So the answer to that is no. So if you have credit cards, you have what is known as, and I didn't want to make this, this is not a credit card call tonight. This is the online marketing system. So I'm going to answer this question, and I'm going to get off this credit card stuff. No, you don't want to close your credit card account because in one of the steps I talk about you've got to have credit utilization. And what credit utilization means is that you've got credit that's available to you, and then how much of that credit that you're using. So let me give you an example. If you have $1,000 worth of credit and you're using $300 of that credit, of that $1,000, you're at a 30% credit utilization. 30% or less is where you want to be. If you have a $1,000 credit card and you got it maxed out, you're at 100% credit utilization, and that's going to drop your score significantly. So you want to get your credit utilization down low. So if you close a credit card, then that available credit is gone. So you want to have that available credit. Even though the credit card might have some negatives on it, if you close the credit card, it's already got the negatives. That's going to show. And now you don't even have the credit utilization. So that's why you don't want to do that. All right? Yep, credit history is important as well. So old accounts have credit history. So all of those things will be covered in the training. It's not as simple as, hey, let's just remove everything negative on my credit report. It's not that simple. It's strategy. You got to apply strategy, and that's what we use. And strategy means that some things you might not want to take off, even though they have a bad mark on them. It's all about strategy. All right? All right. Do we have any other questions on the line as it relates to online marketing? Online marketing. Online marketing.
Nothing else.
All right. So I know that you guys are extremely excited about the future and what we have coming up in the future. I am as well. I want to thank you for being on the call tonight. You guys got an earful. You got some extra stuff for this call tonight. We do this call every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing it again next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I don't see you before then, I'll see you on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you guys for being on the call. God bless. Take care and have a good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night.